Hello everyone, I'm Neon. Today I'm gonna show you the enhancement I made to the shader node editor. So let's start. Here you can see the SDK with the new dark theme made by Charles Anderson. So what I'm gonna do now is to create a new material definition. So I'm going here to other material and material definition template. I'm gonna call it env mapping because we are gonna make an env mapping shader environment mapping. So as you can see, created a G3MD file with shaded and basic shader nodes definitions. We still have a bug in the SDK that when you create a resource in the asset folder, it goes straight to the library folders, and it's kind of a pain, but this is gonna be fixed before the release. So here's my env mapping G3MD file, and the interesting part is actually not this text view of the file, it's the editor view of the file. So some of you may have already seen this editor, I hope so, at least. And there has been some enhancement made to the editor. So as you can see now, all the connection between the nodes are curves. It's been asked on the forum, so I didn't really want to do this because I spent a lot of time making straight lines between them. But actually I find it kind of nice now. So, what is this? You see, you have a vertex node, you have a fragment node, and this generates a shader. So this is the generated fragment shader, vertex shader, sorry, and this is the generated fragment shader. So what I want to do is to show you how I'm gonna make my shader. So I don't really need this node, so I'm gonna delete it. Okay, and this parameter is not useful neither, so I delete it. I'm gonna add a node. So when I right click, I have a node entry in the menu, and I can add a lot of shader nodes that are stock shader nodes provided with the engine. But actually, what I want to use is not in this list. So I'm gonna create my own shader nodes. So let's start. I'm gonna come here and right click, click new and other, and I'm gonna go to material and shader node definition. So now I'm gonna be able to create my shader node definition. I'm gonna call it a reflection. Reflection is nice. And what is this node is gonna do? Actually, it's gonna be a vertex shader node with GLSL1, and it's gonna compute the reflection vector that we're gonna need to make some env mapping. To make an env mapping, I'm gonna fetch Texel into a cube map, and for that I need a reflection vector. So it's gonna compute the reflection vector. And now I'm able to add some inputs to that shader node. So I'm gonna add some inputs. So the first input is a vec3, and the name is gonna be model pos. Okay, that's the position of the vertex in model space. So position in model space. So you're not forced to add a description, but I really encourage you to do it because, well, that will be easier if you want to share your nodes with other people, so they know what's the inputs are supposed to be. So then I'm gonna need model normals. So model normal, that the normal in model space. Then I'm gonna need the position of the camera. So that's also vec3. I'm gonna call it cam pos, in that camera position in world space, because jME pass it in workspace. And of course, if I want to compute something in workspace, I'm gonna need to transpose those vector into workspace. So I need a matrix, and that's gonna be the world matrix. The world matrix. Okay. Now I'm gonna need an output, and what do I need as an output is a vector called refvec. That's the reflection vector that I'm gonna compute. Vector. All right. So I define the inputs and outputs. I click finish, and it's gonna generate a lot of, not a lot of actually, but some stuff. So it generated a reflection J3SN. As you can see, it's the shader node definition that you would have typed yourself, but here it's generated for you, and you just typed what was the important thing. So it's a vertex shader. You know, for GLSL 1.0, it's gonna map to this vertex shader, and here you have all the documentation with the description you typed, the input declaration and the output declaration. All right. And it generated also a shader file, of course with no code in here, but you now can type your code. But that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create another definition actually called texture cube. Alright, copy this, called texture cube. It's a fragment shader. Here I'm gonna need GLSL 1 version and GLSL 1.3. I'm gonna show you, explain later why. So fetches a texel into a cube map. So as input, what I'm gonna need is a cube map. So the cube map is a sampler cube. That's the GLSL type of cube maps. Cube. I'm gonna call it cube map. The cube map. Then I'm gonna add the refvec. This is vec3 refvec, and that's gonna be actually some kind of texture coordinate to fetch a texel into a cube map. And that's the reflection vector. Reflection vector. All right. I'm gonna need an output, and usually when you fetch a texel into a texture, you output a color. So color is a vec4, and the fetched color. All right, finish. Also jumps to library again, and here we go. We have the definition here with the input, output, documentation, and all, and it generated two fragment shaders, one for GLSL 1 and one for GLSL 1.3. So I'm not going to type the code yet. I'm going to go back to my end mapping here, and I'm going to show you how to add these nodes. I don't know why it's doing that anyway. So here I have my two nodes that I declared before with the documentation and all, and here you can see there are two shaders associated. Okay, so I'm gonna add the reflection port first. All right, and I'm gonna add the other one, the texture cube. All right, so now I need to actually wire all these nodes together. So I need the model position, the model normals, the camp position, and the word matrix. So I'm gonna add them. First, an attribute, the in position, so the position of the vertex in model position in model space. Sorry, in model space. So here we go. Then I'm gonna add the normals. So I have the in normals here. All right, and the camera position. Camera position is actually a word parameter. Camera position, and I need the word matrix that is a word parameter. Okay, word matrix is here. And then I just have to wire those nodes together. Alright. So the output is the revvec. The revvec can come here, and here you can see I'm gonna need a cube map. So that's a material parameter. That's gonna be a texture cube map actually, and I'm gonna call it cube map. Alright. So now you can see here I have a cube map. So I'm gonna plug it and then plug my color here. So for now, nothing happened because I don't have any code for those nodes. So actually, it's defaulted to the default color. I'm gonna add the texture map. So, for example, I'm taking this bright sky DDS, that is cube map, and it's loaded. Of course, nothing happened, but we're gonna change that. So first, I'm gonna create my shader node, my code for my reflection shader node. So when I click here, as you can see, now you have a panel with the code of all the files related to this node's definition and the vertex, the shader code. So let's go. So here I'm going to cheat because I'm not going to type the whole code because, well, it's not that long, but that's not the point of the video. So I'm going to pick it here and alright, so here we go. So we have a word position computed from the word matrix and model position, and the normal, the view direction, it's called I, this is compose minus word pose, and we compute the reflection vector like this. Alright, so that's the code. Now I'm going to save, Control S, and I'm going to type the code for the texture cube. So here I have two nodes, so I'm going to start with actually GLSL1, and that's kind of easy. I need a color, and the color is going to be the texel fetched from the cube map. So I'm going to use texture cube because that's the function to use in GLSL1. Texture cube, the first parameter is the cube map. Then the second one is the revvec. Alright, revvec with the V like this, and I'm gonna save. Alright, so for now it's not working because I didn't make my texture cube 130 frag, because my computer used a pretty recent video card, and it uses this shader actually. So I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna save, and here I have an error. The problem is, well, texture cube is not available anymore in GLSL 1.3. So except if I use some extensions. So as you can see, you have one error reported. You have the shader code outputted, that's the generated shader code, and it says that there is an error in line 21. Line 21 is this one when I have my texture cube call. So actually in GLSL 1.3, it uses texture as a function to fetch a texel in any kind of texture. So let's go. And here we go. You see that it's updated live. So I'm gonna pop my backdrop here. You see, you can have a better view of the shader, the rendered shader. And here I can modify live my shaders. For example, I'm gonna put it in background again. I'm gonna open reflection. For example, I'm gonna play with it and invert my light, for example. And as you can see, all is updated live. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you, a quick overview of the new features. There will be other videos when I show you well, the other new stuff in the shader node editor. Thanks a lot, and see you later.